We're not going to get bored of looking at that, are we? Hey, I'd look at that until we run out of light. Supercharged V8, this, right? We've been mucking about with these for thick end of 100 years. Internal combustion, round and roundy bits, up and downy bits, running on dinosaur juice. But the thing is, right, come 2030, 9 years down the line, right, the government are banning the sale of new petrol and diesel cars.
For centuries, humanity has been quilting our planet in a toxic tea-cozy of greenhouse gases.
That means no more of these.
We're putting our foot to the accelerator in a carbon-friendly way, of course, with a 10-point plan for a green industrial revolution.
They want us to go down the electric road, which I'm not for it, but I'm not against it. So we need to do a bit more learning. Press the button. The best way to do a bit of learning is find a bit of a challenge, have a go at a race, right? Current electric car quarter-mile drag race record. I think it's possible to go and beat that.
Come on, keep going! That's fast.
So that's going to keep the job interesting. And along the way of building this car and mucking about with this car, we'll do a load of learning, and hopefully by the end of the day, we'll come to the conclusion whether electric vehicles are the future. Hey, I don't know. But we'll find out.
Britain's biggest petrolhead is actually an electric vehicle early adopter.
Just like that.
Fascinated by transport technology, Guy bought a so-called EV of his own. But after 10,000 miles in a Honda E, girlfriend Sharon remains unconvinced.
Why am I not starting?
You got the keys? No. Might help, might it?
Why am I driving this car, Guy? Why did you buy this car?
You asked that, you don't like it, do you?
No.
Just think it looks cool. I don't know anyone else with an electric car.
No, because they've all got bloody sense, Guy, that's why. Because this world's not ready for them.
Sharon's issue is that this city car only has a maximum range of 137 miles.
I've got complete range anxiety. You can't go anywhere in this car without feeling anxious all the time about running out of electricity.
Have you ever run out of electricity?
Yes, I have, Guy.
When?
You know I have.
When?
When?
Yeah, but you didn't run out, did you?
No, look, you're going to be smug about it now because you got it home, but you got it home with 5% and I had a kid in the back of the car. That child has got range anxiety. She sits in the back and goes, Mommy, have we got enough electricity? She's 3 years of age.
While Sharon is concerned about range, Guy is focused on speed and researching his drag race record.
You coming?
Well, let's see what he's got for us this time, though.
In 2016, car journalist Johnny Smith modified a battery car from the 70s to set a new road-legal electric quarter-mile record of 9.86 seconds.
There she is. What are you thinking? Well, that's what we've got to beat. An Enfield 8000. Yeah, they made like 120 of them. Half of them were sold to the electric board down south. Original power output was 8 horsepower. This, at the time of the record, was 800. I can build stuff in my shed, but I don't know a right load about electrics. I think it's all about big motor, big battery. What else is there? We need an expert. Perigwyl, Marwoliath, Cadwatchy Allen. You get electrocuted. Be careful, you daft bugger. We're in Wales. We know a man who knows a man in Paris builds electric cars using Tesla technology.
This mid-Wales workshop re-engineers the fastest motors and batteries available to fit inside classic vehicles. The man behind it all is Richard Morgan.
I started converting the first car for a customer 5 years ago at home, and now we've got a waiting list of about a year and a half.
Is that right?
That's Dev Patel's car. You know Dev Patel from Slumdog Millionaire?
I know the name, I know the name.
No matter what the vehicle, every electric conversion has one thing in common: speed.
Also, this will be faster than the race car.
Oh, no question.
No question.
I'm not a tree-hugging hippie that's saving the planet.
No, you want to go fast.
That's just a byproduct of the fact that I want to go faster, and an electric is where it's at if you want to go faster nowadays. Honestly. You want to see the batteries?
Yeah, please.
Yeah?
Please. See how...
Yeah, don't touch anything, because it's going to be all live batteries.
Sounds.
So that's probably enough power in there to run a small home for a day. So that's one house, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's enough power in here to run a small village.
How much? How much per pack are we looking at?
On average, they're about £1,000 each module. They're not cheap. Not yet.
A typical conversion uses 16 of the £1,000 batteries.
This is essentially an old bus. It's got 450 horsepower.
450.
It's a handful. And if you floor it...
Even for a petrol head like Guy, it doesn't take long for the electric vehicle experience to become very persuasive.
There is absolutely no penalty to pay, is there? There's no penalty.
So we're overtaking these cars now as if we're in a modern BMW 5 Series.
Yeah.
Without any drama, and believe me, I've got my foot literally just a little bit on the accelerator. If I booted it...
We'd be going into the scenery.
Convinced this could be a beautiful relationship, Guy makes his proposal.
We sort of got this bit of an idea, and we think you're the man to help us, right? Fastest quarter mile in a road-legal electric car.
A road-legal electric car?
Road-legal electric car.
Right.
You're the man to make this happen.
First of all, we need a car.
Yeah.
Have you got a car? So you want me
We're
to...
leaving this in your
everything
hands.
to me.
What do you
car,
think?
the lot. My Beetle's quick.
Right. It's a bloody beautiful Beetle that he adapted like 5 years ago. Put a Tesla system in the back of this Beetle, and he just used it as his daily driver.
Who's driving this? Are you driving it or am I driving it?
Well, I always like to drive, you know,
Right,
not much of it, but I always like to have a go.
So if we're going to do it, there's a number of things we're going to have to do. We're going to have to get more power. We're going to have to put it on the diet.
Yeah.
It needs more grip. Aerodynamics, maybe. So there's 4 things we need, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the first thing we need to do is see how heavy it is. There we go. Magic number. What's it going to be?
Bloody hell, right.
Oh, it's not so bad.
And by that, the toolbox was out when we was ripping it to bits.
Here was the Formula One man to say the most important thing to add is to add lightness. Is that Colin Chapman? There you go.
If we can get it to a wind tunnel, that'd be awesome.
Well, I know a man that can get us in there. It's not nothing cheap. Just move the decimal place, boy, because then you're on TV.
Every inch of this 1972 Beetle 1303 is examined.
Keep her going, keep her going.
Better out than in.
Right, so we got 6.
Yeah.
1.5.
Yeah. 52.5. That's enough, innit? You want that on your toes.
The project racks up its first success, a near 5% weight saving.
Not bad for half an hour's work.
Half an hour's work and not a single penny spent.
We like that.
But if Guy wants this 50-year-old car to be a record breaker, next he'll have to learn what makes an EV fast.
You ready?
Guy Martin is exploring the new world of electric cars,
It's not new, as I've been telling you boys for a long time.
which has a surprising history that's more than 120 years old.
Here we go.
The very first land speed records were set in electric vehicles. In 1899, Camille Genazzi entered the history books with his speed machine, Le Jamais Content.
Jammy John Tont, he was from Belgium. 62 mile an hour. First man to do 100 kilometers an hour in an electric vehicle. Well, in any vehicle. Yeah, ended up getting shot by his mates pretending to be a pig out on a hunting expedition.
At the start of the 20th century, battery-powered vehicles were fast, smooth, and everywhere.
Yeah, so here we've got New York City. Every third car was an electric vehicle. Really, because, you know, internal combustion was in sort of its infancy. You know, there was smoking, there was bloody hand cranking, starting, running like a bag of spanners and it's shaking about. Yeah, so there's not many positives for going down internal combustion until early 1900s. Here we go, we're in Texas, right? And what have we got? We've found oil and we're swimming in the stuff. A barrel of oil was 3 cents a barrel. And then Henry Ford got onto this. All right, yeah, I'll tell you what, we've got cheap fuel. If we can make a car, a cheap car, then we're on the money. And this is where the Model T came out. There was $850 a Model T when they first came out. 10 years down the line, when he'd refined the production line method, he was turning them out for $300 a car, the 10th of the cost of the equivalent electric vehicle. It's a no-brainer. Would we say it was the final nail in the coffin? The straw that broke the camel's back? I don't know if he'd use either of those. But anyway, whatever it was, that was the death of the electric car.
From that point on, electric power was only used for specialist applications, like early morning milk rounds, where quietness was important.
Off to deliver his milk, you know what I'm saying, eh?
Or on the moon, where the lack of atmosphere makes internal combustion impossible.
That's the lunar rover. I heard ages ago it had a Sierra back axle in it. $10 million a piece. Through all of this, electric has never really gone mainstream until this man came along, right? Elon Musk, we all know the name, don't we? South African, bloody clever bloke. He's taken a software writer's approach to building cars rather than, conventional car manufacturers' approach to building cars.
The car company where Musk calls himself Techno King is Tesla.
The first car came out in 2008. By halfway through 2020, right, they're the most valuable car company in the world. If I'm driving to Grimsby, you'd be doing well not to see a Tesla. What's he doing there? What is he doing? What's he... Anyway, this is Elon Musk, eh? And this gets everyone talking like, look, we're sat here talking about it. That just creates massive interest in Tesla, and what's that do to the share price? Through the bloody roof. So yeah, he's taken a very different approach to making and selling cars, and at this point in time, it seems to be working.
1 in 10 UK car sales are now pure electric, and Tesla tops the sales charts. And as Guy heads back to EV expert Richard Morgan's Mid-Wales workshop,
Looks the power, doesn't it?
it's Tesla technology that will play a crucial role in the attempt on the quarter-mile record for a street-legal electric car.
This is what's going to be in the Volkswagen Beetle. So that's the battery that goes in the front, that's the battery that goes in the back, and that there is the motor. Anyway, we're going to get it running. We're going to wire it up and we're going to get it going. Martin's here to keep an eye on me because everything's disconnected, but it's to save me blowing Wales off the map, because that could be easily done.
95% of British mechanics aren't qualified to work on EVs. Guy is one of them. So the circuit is checked to see if it is live before he's allowed to touch anything.
You on?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing.
0.0. It's perfectly safe.
Making one of the world's most sophisticated electric motors work is little different to wiring a plug.
That's it. Perfect.
Thick latex gloves will insulate Guy against electrocution, while he inserts the 3 connectors that will make the system live.
That way.
Other way. That way. That's it. Perfect.
All done.
But we are now live, so we've got 400 volts on here.
Once the control box is connected,
Perfect.
the workbench Tesla is ready to be driven.
So ignition on. Press the start button.
Shall I leave the gloves on?
Yes, please.
Right, are we going to go for it? You ready?
There we go. So give it some more. Go right the way up if you want.
I'm not going to jump off the bench.
No.
You're not.
That'll do. Release. Perfect.
Go again.
You can go again.
600 horsepower is being generated by 500 kilos of batteries and the most basic of wiring.
Perfect.
Instant enough. What sort of faff would we have had to do if we wanted to get that same horsepower out of an internal combustion engine? Far simpler, isn't it?
In fact, Electric motors are so simple that you can build one in a van.
You ready? You ready?
All you need are paper clips and a fundamental of physics.
Right, you saw me wind the coil up, and what we're going to do here, we're going to put an electrical current through that, and you create a magnetic field. As simple as that. The magnetic field that we created in this coil gets attracted to that magnet there, and then the other side of the coil will be repelled. So it'll attract, repel, which creates rotational motion, which turns a motor, which can move your car. Sort of as simple as that. I think that might be a goer, you know. Come on.
All that's left to do is connect a battery to the circuit.
Hold your breath, boys. Look at that. Look at that. Attract, repel, attract, repel. Home-brewed motor.
It was Michael Faraday who discovered this fundamental of electromotive force, a 200-year-old formula that can power just about anything in the modern world.
Right, you've lined up some day today, boy. I'll give you that. We have got a load of electric vehicles. Some of them are a prototype, and some of them are already out there. We're just gonna have a go and get a bit of a feel, whether it's a digger, a bus, a push bike, a van, or a car. Lovely day for it as well. Right, I'm not gonna go ass off a tick going down here. You ready? Let's get cracking. What we're gonna go in first? I was never cool enough to go on the back seat.
This is the Equipmake e-bus. Designed by a former Formula One engineer, its motor has few moving parts, so it's easier to maintain than a diesel.
Bit tight, this one, boys. Bit tighter, bit tighter. Oh. Use all the curb by paid me entry fee. It's all there for using. We're not messing about, boys. This is the fastest bus in the world. Yeah, take the limiter off. It will do 100 miles an hour, but they knew I was going to be driving it, so they've left the limiter on. Rightly so, I'll tell you, because it'd be over that bank upside down in that field.
Like all electric vehicles, the e-bus has no tailpipe emissions. A recent study suggested swapping diesel buses for electric ones in a city like York would save £5 million in health costs in the first year alone.
I'd much rather walk through a city centre with electric buses rather than diesel buses. Yeah, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Fantastic. Yeah, but we murdered it and it survived without one issue. The brakes didn't fade. That was a cone we got. And look, where's the battery? It's still saying it's next door to full, 90%. So if I'm murdering it, that's going to last a lifetime, isn't it? That's going to last a lifetime. Beautiful, beautiful.
So electric can handle mass transportation. But what about something more specialised? This is a £116,000 electric Porsche.
Now, I've got to get this right. The Porsche man did say you need to say the name right. He says, oh, it's a Porsche Taycan. Not in Lincolnshire, mate.
It has 680 horsepower and a 160 miles per hour top speed.
The range is 240 miles. That's what they're saying. We'll see, we'll see. Not with a dickhead like me behind the wheel, but I can tell you.
All it takes to understand this car
We're all right, we go.
is one firm press of the pedal.
That's fast. That's fast, boys. That's fast. That's fast. That's fast. I don't get excited very often. That's fast. 130, 140, 145. That is fast, boys. How many times have I said that now?
And compared to its petrol equivalent, a Taycan should go at least twice as far for every pound spent on fuel.
I'm blown away. What a piece of kit.
The next vehicle guide tests will show that EVs might be fast, but they aren't foolproof. So far, Guy Martin's shown that buses and sports cars have an electric future. But what about every tradesman's workhorse? The van.
Well, I'm only allowed to do 1 minute on each vehicle, but I think we could have a half hour on that, couldn't we? What a piece that looks, doesn't it? And this is the Morris JE van. Can we have a look inside? Looks can be deceiving, can't they? Oh, feel that quality. Bloody hell, look at that. Look at the carbon fibre on the dash. That's beautiful, isn't it? It went as lovely as it looked. And didn't it look a peach? Beautiful. I like the thinking, get a 200-mile range on it, and it's a city delivery van. That's what it's going to be. You get 2 Euro pallets in the back, which is a bonus, with a ton payload. What more do we want? Let's have a word with them about the cup holders. We've only got a couple of cup holders. This is £60,000. It's a lot of money for a van, yeah. But get it signed, written up, treat it as a piece of advertising, you could just about justify it.
Industry experts predict that within 5 years, EVs will have reached price parity with their petrol and diesel equivalents.
Hey, well, boy, it's a cool thing. It's a statement, isn't it? It's very much a statement.
Electricity will play a part in commercial vehicles, but what of Guy's personal passion, the bicycle? This 60 miles per hour e-bike costs £20,000 and has been bought by people like Simon Cowell.
This is what he said, this is what Simon Cowell said. Some good advice. If you buy an electric trail bike, read the manual before you ride it first time. I have broken part of my back. Thank you to everyone for your kind messages. So Simon Cowell has spanned himself by riding one of these. Let's give her a whirl. I'll get my skid lid on, just in case. I'll put my overalls on, just in case. What could possibly go wrong? Ready for action, boys?
Luckily, unlike the multi-millionaire music mogul, Guy is very experienced with high-performance two-wheeled machinery.
Okay, sorry about that, boys. They said, oh, it will lift the wheel in third, and I thought, I know what I'm doing, mate. Don't you worry about that. I can take it. So anyway, I set us off in like first, and I just think, I'll flick it to 3. Opens her up, straight off the back. Oh, it's not dickhead proof then, is it? Obviously not. Go on, a couple of laps.
A characteristic of all electric vehicles is that they provide instant torque from very low revs.
Just so different to anything else I've ever ridden. You need a bit of time to get used to it. I can see where Simon Cowell was going wrong. Just wants to sit on each back wheel, just wants to wheelie. Once I spent an hour on it, it all felt a bit more normal. I loved it, I loved it. I was trying to get as near to you as I could. I smoked you in a couple of places, didn't I? Well, that is a rocket ship.
As Guy's final vehicle will prove, there's nothing electricity can't power.
Yeah, if I've got to pick one thing to drive all day, boy, I'm in this. She's mint.
This is a little electric digger.
They've used 800 kilos of lead-acid batteries. You've got that mounted as low as possible, so it's really stable on inclines. And you can plough into stuff, and it's not going to spin its wheels. I'd have still been in there now, boys. Are you not jealous stood watching me doing this? Just moving muck to do what with it? No, just moving it, mate. It's the best thing in the world. Yeah, I was more than impressed with its capability. And then we got out, and it did its party trick, where it's remote control. You can control it from the phone. That's just a phone. That's just a phone. Bluetooth to that. You could run hydraulics off there, so you could run a pecker on it, you know, like for breaking concrete up. You could run a road sweeper on it. You could put fork truck tines on it. A universal tool. Once you've got used to that, that's the future. So in every role that we've been testing today, electric has come up trumps. What fun we have had double-checking that electricity is the future. What fun we've had.
But the next stage of preparing the Beetle for its drag strip record attempt is nothing to do with fun. Richard and Guy need to seriously consider the fact that this Beetle could be a death trap.
Well, my biggest fear of running this on the drag strip is a Beetle was never designed to go 130 odd miles an hour.
These things are fairly likely to flip over when the wind gets under them at high speed. They're not designed to be doing much more than 100 miles an hour. All right, we're on the front. So we're coming here just to confirm to ourselves that she's not going to take off. Straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back. Sound job.
It makes me a little bit more nervous that somebody like Guy Martin is driving it. I don't want to be the man that killed Guy Martin.
I mean, to be honest, if I ended on my roof at 120 mile an hour, I'm not that bothered. But obviously, the risk assessment, it wouldn't go down so well, would it? What would the paperwork be?
Onerous.
Onerous. I don't know what that means. Anyway, there'd be a right lot of paperwork. It'd be coming out your lug holes, man.
The team are in Nuneaton, at the world's oldest automotive wind tunnel.
The Beetle is set on load cells, just like posh bathroom scales, right? When we get those fans up and running, it'll pull the air over the car, and we will know if the car's going to take off because the load will decrease on the load cells.
But before they test the car,
Go on, Dave, wick her up, man.
Guy tests the tunnel.
Give her some welly, let's add a full force. 250 kilowatts a piece then, 1 megawatt. Let's see if I'm going to end up in them fans. I don't think so. What do you think?
That was a breeze.
The test program can begin under the watchful eye of aero engineer Kevin Chow.
It's moving about a bit. Nothing's flown off it yet. The mirrors are still on it. I'd call that a win.
The live data from the wind tunnel scales reveals the worst.
Go on, Kevin, what's it telling you?
Telling me that it needs a bit of work.
Oh, really?
Right.
At 130 miles per hour, an invisible force of 200 kilograms is trying to pull the car off the road.
120 of that's on the rear, 79 of it's on the front.
It's not the most desirable characteristic in a car.
So you're saying it makes a good aeroplane, but not a good car?
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, yeah.
Put the smoke over it, see what it looks like.
The smoke trail shows how air interacts with the car and reveals where the problem is.
You can really see that the smoke attaches itself like glue to the rear window and boot area, and
Yeah.
that's what we want to try and avoid, yeah?
Yeah, because basically, as the air flows over the back of the vehicle, the act of pulling that air down also imparts an equal and opposite force on the vehicle, sort of like pulling it up.
Yeah.
So that's where all of the rear lift is coming from. So in order to reduce the rear lift, what we need to do is that we actually need to separate the air so that it doesn't stay attached over the rear of the vehicle.
The team sets to work improvising a spoiler. So called because it should spoil the air flowing over the back of the car.
Yeah, it's not the finished product, but it'll just point us in the right direction. It'll just give us a bit of a cue. That's not going to fall off in a breeze.
They also try to reduce lift by fitting a front spoiler.
So this goes above, like that.
So the way that works is that you're essentially reducing the amount of air that goes underneath the car. So instead of going under, it basically goes sideways around the vehicle.
Right, let's get some numbers again.
Sound job. Right, strike her up again.
The target figure here is something less than 200 kilograms of lift.
What's the damage? What's the damage? Oh, there you go.
The spoilers seem to work. lift that was 200 kilograms at the start of the day is reduced to just over 100 by the end.
It's a lot.
That's a bloody right load, isn't it?
Happy with that, mate?
I think the main conclusion from today is we know it's not going to flip onto its roof at 140 odd miles an hour.
Pretty much, yeah.
Your insurers are happy. You're happy. Job's a peach.
Right, go on. How we're looking, boys and girls.
Guy's back in his shed and back to basics.
Cameras in place. Microphone.
To discover more about the science of batteries.
What do I say? Check, check, 1, 2.
So what I'm going to do a bit of an experiment to show you how a battery works.
They are all small pouches of chemical reactions, discovered by a science genius in 1799.
Alexander Volta. He was a man that sussed the voltage job out. Right, what we've got here, we've got a tatey, right? We need two dissimilar metals. We've got one of your Nan's posh, that's not mine, one of your Nan's posh silver spoons. You got that? And I see that you can see me. We've just got a nail, which is a zinc nail. You got that? We're going to stick that in the tatey, right? And there we've got your Nan's silver spoon, right? How we're looking. What we've here is a battery. We're going to put the negative on the nail and the positive on the silver spoon. Look, 1.1 volts out of a tatey. Yeah, so what we've got here is an electron flow, and what the zinc is doing is giving away its electrons, and the silver spoon is a greedy bugger, and it's receiving them. It wants them all, right? It wants them all. The tatey, because it's acidic, allows the chemical reaction to take place. That makes that become a battery. If we put something in between those, it'll power it. So whether it's a light bulb, a calculator, an electric motor, anything in between there, it will power it. Obviously, we're not going to get a lot of power out of that, but we can do something.
With a second cell for a bit more voltage and some hot wiring skills.
Hang on, don't rush me.
Guy's potato battery.
Hang on, can you see us?
Can power a calculator.
Bloody hell, man.
Go on, give me some complicated mathematics to put into the calculator. 1 + 1 = 2.
This principle of two metals and an electrolyte is the same principle that underpins every battery in every electric vehicle.
Press the button.
But there is a potential downside to the chemical recipe that makes a battery. A risk that concerns many consumers. Fire. A number of high-profile incidents from around the world have seen cars burst into flames.
The electric car's battery components were left burning and exploding in the street.
Guy's going to find out if this is a risk he might face during his record attempt.
2 jobs today. Job number 1, how easy is it to set light to an electric car? Job number 2, how easy is it to put out an electric car that's on fire?
The Horriber Myra Test Centre in Leicestershire brutally tests batteries to destruction. Today, a new battery will be subjected to the worst-case scenario, a short circuit caused by the cells being ruptured during a high-speed collision on a motorway or drag strip.
How we're looking? We're ready for action? We've got a relay. I'm going to control that with this little switch. That's going to swing the big breaker in there, which is then going to join those 2 wires together, which then should hopefully set light to the battery. And if it gets out of hand, we've got these boys. So let's see what happens. So let me get the visor down. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Ooh, she's away, boys. Let me put that down. Instant.
But aside from some charred cables, the battery has not burst into flames. These latest cells have multiple fuses designed to stop overloads from reaching the battery.
Plan B, come on, stand by.
even using a metal plate to short-circuit as many terminals as possible doesn't make the battery catch fire.
Oh, these things aren't easy to blow up.
There's only one thing left to try. Apply an external heat source. But again, this latest design of battery pack remains intact.
So a lot of this stuff is flame resistant as well.
If that had been a tank of petrol, I would have had a blazing long time ago. The kitchen sink's been at it. Yeah, they're safe as houses.
It's time to up the ante and make an entire electric car burn. Guy Martin's about to find out what happens when an electric car catches fire. This early EV has been loaded with older battery packs that lack the safety fuses of more recent designs.
Excuse me if I've got holes in my socks.
Guy himself has to take his PPE to the ultimate level.
No, shake your head. Got a nice tight suit, no air coming out. Okay.
Time to short-circuit an electric car.
Press the button. Do you see them leads move? Over 4,000 amps. We have smoke.
The short circuit has made the batteries overheat, triggering an escalating chain of chemical reactions which give off even more heat. It's called thermal runaway.
Oh, come on, she's away, boy. Right. She's away now, mate.
After a few minutes, the car approaches 650 degrees. And components explode.
She's going now.
Guy, here on the right, is going to help the fire service test a new method of extinguishing car fires with a giant blanket.
It took a bit of dragging over that blanket. The roller caboose going. Yeah, I had a bit of pressure on.
Look, by the looks of it, I've put it out. By the looks of it.
It would normally be left like this for at least 24 hours. Underneath, it's still hot enough to combust if presented with more oxygen.
Yeah, I'll pull it off. See what happens. Come on. Way it goes, mate.
This time, Guy gets to experience the conventional way of putting out a car fire.
The only way to put that out is to get the temperature down, to stop the reaction taking place, so you need to smother it in water.
The plumes of smoke contain hydrogen cyanide and mask which parts of the car are still on fire.
I've still lots to go, will it?
Being covered in smoke, it's all right because that breathing apparatus is mint. You don't feel anything.
It's sparking, mate. It's sparking.
I wasn't scared.
It takes 6 minutes to extinguish the fire.
What do you think, Bob? Pretty much there, guy.
And bring the temperature down. But despite being doused in 1,800 litres of water, the batteries continue to fizz and spit.
Look at that, them batteries bubbling. That'll be a light again tonight. Right. Crackers.
Although it may look like the fire is out, an exothermic reaction, one that gives out heat, continues in the batteries.
These have been known to light up again 2 weeks after the fire. What's going to happen? Yeah, it's going to light up in the workshop or part up to next to another car in a breaker's yard somewhere and take everything else with it. So that's why the only way to deal with these properly is to dump them in a skip of water.
It's a technique that's already being used in Germany, where rescue services are trialling watertight shipping containers. The experts at Myra conclude that electric cars are no more dangerous than petrol cars. They're just dangerous in a different way. Back at the workshop, the 50-year-old Beetle has been subjected to a thorough upgrade program by Guy and the team.
wider tyres, bigger wings.
Normally it takes years to perfect a record breaker, but with a limited budget, the team are restricted to fitting in work between other jobs.
You're still working on the lorries or not?
Yeah? Yeah, it's never stopped really, that.
But with an EV, the biggest hot rod gains can be made in just a few minutes.
Today, it's all about power. It's all about power. We've come to find it.
When James Watt first converted a torque measurement into the concept of horsepower as a way of marketing his new steam engines, he had little idea that it would still be the benchmark used by every petrolhead 250 years later.
Horsepower and torque. What's the difference? You could soon make it sound dead complicated, but I sort of just use the simple terms, right? I just use the simple terms. The torque is how hard I'm pushing you, like I'm pushing the sound dog, how hard I'm shoving you. And the horsepower is how fast I'm doing it in a minute. It's expensive. He said it's £1,000 worth of a microphone. Can you see that? Just how fast those torque events are happening.
In terms of the Beetle, torque is the force that will launch it off the line, and power is what will carry it to the finish. The team want as much of both as possible, and have come to the rolling road of experienced supercar tuner Ricky Elder for help. Chris Hazel has also been brought in to modify the motor. By attaching a Wi-Fi router close to the Tesla internals, it's more akin to computer hacking than traditional engine tuning.
All right, we're in.
I'm just listening and learning.
Right, let's see if we can hook some power then. Ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Watch your fingers.
The Beetle's throttle is flawed. It spins its wheels at the equivalent of 120 miles per hour, while a live readout shows the forces being generated.
.9,000 RPM motor speed, you are doing 647 newton meters of torque, which for something that ain't powered by rotten dinosaurs, that ain't bad, mate. That ain't bad. So that little thing is nearly making the same torque as a £100,000 Porsche. But you run out of revs. Give me more revs, I'll give you more power.
Okay. The tuning can commence.
Let me just refresh this and see if it's going to play ball.
They start by telling the motor to use more electrical energy by increasing the amp limit. But it comes with a warning.
I don't want to put it up at all, to be honest. But as I know we can push it up. We've just never pushed it past 1100.
Well, you've never done that before, so you don't know if that would damage the inverter.
We'll just push it and see what happens at the end of the day.
Performance factor.
They also adjust a parameter called F-slip, which controls the 3 magnetic fields that make the motor spin.
It's the point in which you energise the magnets, right? So if you've got 2 magnets on your table and they're attracting, right? You want them in that sweet spot. So if you get them too close, they're just going to snap together. You don't want that. You want them near enough apart, so you've got the maximum pull, but you don't want them touching. So that's what adjusting the F-slip is, just getting that distance right. The attracting magnets is just getting them close enough so they're just about pulling, but not touching. That's when you get your maximum power in that window.
And what I can do here is...
So the closer we are together, it'll pull the motor around faster. You just get to that point and it pulls the motor around faster. So, yeah, this is a sweet spot. There's a sweet spot.
So what was it sagging down to?
There is an undeniable tension in the room as they prepare for the run. Nobody knows if the new settings could make the Beetle self-destruct.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
The run is completed safely, and the result speaks for itself.
Spinning the wheels on the dyno.
We ended up at like 670 newton meters of torque, which is, yeah, that's as much, if not more, than anyone has ever got out of those Tesla kits.
Mate, she wants to pull a dyno out floor.
Literally goes... Some introduction to electric cars, eh?
Yeah. It's probably pulled the back of the cell closer to the car. No, we're still good.
What was once a classic family car has been turned into a tyre shredding monster. The power of EVs is undoubted, but what continues to plague them is something Guy is going to test to the extreme. Britain's recharging infrastructure is constantly expanding, with around 600 new public points installed every month.
Am I pointing the right way? Yeah, bit of real-world testing. Here we are.
Guy is going to test the latest capability.
You see that?
By filming a video diary.
2 minutes to 3.
Of an 1,100-mile round trip.
The new Hyundai, they've given us this for a day or two.
Starting at his house near Grimsby.
I'm gonna see if I can get to John O'Groats and back in a day. That's the plan. So I've just charged it up 100%. They're saying it'll do the thick end of 300 miles to a tank full. Worked out I can fill up at about 3 different places on the way up there with fast chargers. So we're gonna give it a go. 550 miles to go. John O'Groats, here we come. Here we come. Well, I think we can get to Gretna before we need to charge.
Manufacturers point out that the rules governing how a car's range is advertised stipulate that an average of different speeds must be used. Constant motorway driving means Guy won't get near the manufacturer claim of 298 miles from a full charge.
Quick update. 53 minutes and 49 miles into the journey, and we've only got 69% of the battery left. It's not looking very promising. Look in the corner. What have we got? 17% battery left, which generally equates to 30 miles. And we've got 50 miles to get to our supercharger. So hang on, we're 20 miles missing somewhere. Yeah, we're in trouble.
And so, 155 miles after setting off, Guy makes an unplanned pit stop in Penrith.
Right, here we go. Let's see how easy this is.
The first charger he finds is in a supermarket car park.
So let's see if it works.
It doesn't.
Oh,
Luckily, the charger across the road springs into action.
Thank you. There we go, we're charging.
After 15 minutes and an update to his journey log, Guy has enough range to get to his original target of Gretna Green.
Go on, where is it? Oh, I see it.
And one of the latest breed of chargers, which are the fastest in the country.
Yeah, so a fast charger would be 50 kilowatts, and then you can get a proper fast charger, which would be 100 kilowatts, right? And then you can get these Ionity chargers, which are 350 kilowatts.
But the faster the charge, the bigger the bill.
Look at the money! Holy f***, I thought it was going to be cheaper! 70p per kilowatt hour? Holy excuse my language.
The electricity in a home costs around 15 pence a unit. Charging out on the road is around 30 pence a unit. This is more than double.
There she goes, listen to that. She's getting wound up. Listen to it, can you hear that?
But in theory, it will charge this car to 80% in 18 minutes. More than enough time for breakfast.
We've had a Scotch pie and a cup of tea. If I go out there and it's not at 60%, 70%, something like that, I'm going to be disappointed. Here we go, right, here's the moment of truth. I'm not joking. That's saying 34%, 56 minutes remaining. I am disappointed.
A check on the ZapMap app suggests other users have experienced slow charging with this particular unit as well.
There we go.
In the end, charging takes 1 hour and costs £40. After 130 miles, Guy reaches the supercharger in Perth. And this time, the system works as it should. Moving on to slower A roads extends the range to more than 200 miles. And after a brief recharge in Wick...
Now, mate, all right.
So where are you road tripping to?
Only to John O'Groats in that electric thing.
Guy makes it to John O'Groats 12.5 hours after setting off.
Can you drive an electric car to John O'Groats? Yes, you can. Is it a pain in the ass? Yes, it is. There she is. Right, let's go find some electric.
The return trip was a similar story.
The bloody charge station doesn't work.
A failed charge at John O'Groats left Guy in a very sticky situation.
Now turn right.
The whole 1,100-mile round trip took 27 hours.
Cheers.
And half of the 10 charge stops had issues. It cost £204 in electricity. A diesel would have cost around 140.
Skin of the teeth, my friends. Skin of the teeth.
On the basis of this trip, it would seem that electric cars and long journeys don't always mix. But what Guy's plan next will play to battery power's strengths. Guy Martin hopes the Volkswagen Beetle he's helped tune is going to set a new record for road-legal electric cars on a drag strip. Ahead of its final testing, he shows it off at Caffeine and Machine in Warwickshire.
We've come here to do a bit of market research.
It's a hangout for petrol heads of every denomination.
Oh, Ford Transit.
And some of Britain's biggest car influencers.
Go on, let's have an hour about this.
What do people committed to internal combustion feel about battery power being the future of transport?
You try and make an internal combustion engine in your own kitchen, you're not doing it, are you? Are you? It's dead simple.
So hi, my name is Becky Evans. I'm 28 years old. I'm a content creator.
So my name is Kaiser Salim. Online, I'm known as the Kaiser, and I'm a vehicle concept artist. Full 3D environment, everything here is fake.
Oh my God, look at the side pipes.
Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello.
YouTube car guy, living the supercar dream, sharing my experiences of the automotive world through my social media platforms.
Go on, Kaiser, what are you thinking, mate?
It's pretty mega.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You see?
That's definitely not what you normally have back there.
No, not 600 horsepower as well. Yeah.
It's not very pretty to look at, is it? It does the fast thing, but she's...
What?
It's just like a big square block.
What's the battery, mate?
I know.
Guy shows these petrol heads exactly what battery power can do.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2.
It's ridiculous. As soon as he's putting his foot down, just keeps pushing you back into your seat. Like, it's not gradual, it's like, bang.
Kaiser's never been in an electric car.
Wow. It's insane.
Okay.
Instant speed, it's crazy. I love the engineering behind this. It's very quick, but when are you going to use that on the roads?
We're going to hopefully use it on a drag strip, but outside of that...
Oh, well, then in that case, then you're all set.
If you want an electric car now on the market in terms of production models, there are very few sports cars or exciting cars for petrol heads. There are very few of these type of cars that will grab the heartstrings of somebody who loves what I love. And I think this is the future of that direction.
But how will the influencers' old-fashioned petrol engines compare in a back-to-back drive?
Yeah, she's pretty clean. I had the engine out not too long ago.
Should we wake it up?
Go on. Sounds the part, doesn't it? Looking forward to this. I loved a Porsche because it was sort of one concourse, teacups chucked in the back. It was mint. A gangster machine. I just love it because it was a usable classic.
You're all right, lads, go on.
Cracks and bangs and gear changes and wastegates and dump valves, you know, all of that complication and mechanical noise. Mate, it is cool. I'm impressed. And she could wagon the beast. She could wagon it.
quite an involving experience. We've both got a smile on our face.
Sounds it, mate.
You're right. You're right, mate. I love it.
When you unleash it,
Gets a little bit lively, doesn't it?
There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that internal combustion will live on. No doubt in my mind.
the problem I have when I'm driving this car is that my cheekbones start to ache because I'm always smiling so much.
Because it's just the involvement of driving. It's the driving experience, that's what we want. But to drive from point A to point B, right, that could be done in your electric vehicle, and you're not going to offend anything, and you're not going to create the CO2. But when you want to go out and actually enjoy your driving, then yeah, we want to get the old dinosaur out of the shed and go burn a bit of petrol and oil. Whoa.
So, Guy, what do you think? Battery or petrol?
Petrol every day of the week. No, that's not a question, mate. That's not a question.
Do you know what I mean?
Petrol power may be more fun, but can it still keep up? Guy and engineer Richard are going to find out at the Beetle's first test day.
Just safety first. If worst comes to worst and you end up on your head,
go on.
Just that there, that's your safety cutoff. See?
Oh yeah, I can see it.
And away you go. All right?
Cheers,
Sit
boss.
back.
Cheers, boss.
Nothing encourages ultimate performance more than a competition. And what better than to race a 204 miles per hour petrol supercar? Richard's friend, a petrolhead who wants to be known only as Rob from Canada, has brought his McLaren 570S for a shot at the 50-year-old Volkswagen.
It's a 3.8 liter V8, twin turbocharged, you know, internal combustion engine, obviously.
I know it's posh, and I know it's fast. It's not just fast, it's bloody fast. So we're gonna have a race, try and put this job into context, just to see how the Beetle shapes up against a well-proven hypercar. And I think it'll be tight. Fingers crossed.
Man, it is on like Donkey Kong.
Let's do it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I will say 3, 2, 1, go. And you both go on the G of the go. So please stand by. 3, 2, 1, go.
Come on, come on, come on, keep going. Come on, send it. Holy that's fast.
Oh, that was tight.
That Beetle is so fast.
All right, boss. Yeah, I picked him. Just.
Hey! The start is depressing because I just see you tearing off.
Making no noise.
No noise. And then I'm like making all this noise and racket and stuff like that. As long as it's long enough, I can catch you. But this is amazing. You know, if you can take a Beetle and make it that quick, future of hot rodding is definitely in safe hands.
It's not just fast for a Beetle, it is fast full stop. Is it fast enough?
Beating internal combustion seems easy, but can they beat the record? The day of Guy's record attempt has arrived. He's come to the home of British drag racing, Santa Pod in Northamptonshire. Conditions at this famous quarter-mile strip are perfect. But Guy arrives to the worst possible news.
Jay Leno tries to break record in Tesla's new Model S Plaid on Jay Leno's garage. Well, that's a bit the same as what we're doing, isn't it? Am I going to play the video? Ah, there we go. There we go.
Hey, this is Franz. You're ready to go. Watch it, girls.
24 hours ago, NBC reported that the record Guy must beat is no longer 9.86 seconds.
9247. Wow!
Is there a 924?
And it is now the fastest production car you can buy, faster than any Ferrari.
We are on the back foot, boys. Get the kettle going.
The team hope to stack the odds back in their favour by doing everything they can to improve grip. And here, that means glue.
Track prep is a very specific thing to quarter-mile drag racing. So here they are, they're spraying glue on. See? You're not going to wheel spin as easy because your tyres are glued to the track. You smell that? Putting hairs on your chest, isn't it?
Each tyre is fitted with a sensor so that their pressures can be monitored via an app. And engineer Brian Porteous has been invited to make sure the tyres are always in the optimal state.
There actually starts to be a molecular interaction between the tyre rubber and the surface. So we need to keep our eye on that because if pressure goes up too far, that reduces your contact patch.
Scientific, anyway.
Right, I'll go give me brain a rest. I'll go get my overalls
Is there
on.
a test after
I'll go
this?
get my overalls on. That's a lot of science, that.
It's time to make the first run of the day. The tyres operate at their best between 60 and 80 degrees.
Bit more. That'll do.
So Guy sets about warming them up.
Let's go a bit of heat in him. Traction control on, yeah. Today.
How was that look on? Not bad, mate. We're into the 10, so that's a 10A with a 122 terminal.
So that's a good start, that, mate.
Cheers, boss.
10.8 seconds is the same quarter-mile time as the legendary Ferrari F40 supercar. Guy lines up for a second go in a Beetle that is powerful enough to rip up chunks of concrete. But is it quick enough to break a record?
One. Oh, 10.6. Happy with that?
10.6, buddy.
So 10.6 at 123, that. So we're going in the right direction. Well done, mate.
Grand job, thank you. Cheers, boss.
The finish line speed of 123 miles per hour is actually faster than the original record they were trying to beat, which means it's the first half of the run where time is being lost through wheel spin.
It fell right on the limit there, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's give it a little bit more then.
Yeah?
May as well.
How's she looking, Brian?
Looking all right. Loving those burnouts.
Preparations get serious.
We've got our eye in this morning, right? I want to say this is the money shot. This is where we're going to go and do it.
The sun's been on this track most of the day now. I mean, that's probably going to be the quickest times this afternoon. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, could do without this headwind, though.
Like Brian, the Michelin man. Not the Michelin man, he's just a man that works with Michelin. He didn't want to risk picking any pebbles up because there's a slight pebbles sat in the rubber and that is going to slightly compromise the friction the tyre can give for an absolute run. So this is why we swept all the track. Brian swept all the track, I didn't. I would have done it if I'd asked, but he didn't. We was off having a cup of tea for dinner. He was here sweeping the track. He means business. So there is nothing left to chance. If we don't do it, we aren't doing it. I'm looking forward to having a go at bloody min one. Come on, let's get them primed. Come on.
Burnouts only heat the surface of the tyre, so a fresh set of rubber is being thoroughly warmed in electric blankets.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you very much.
To avoid contamination, they won't be fitted until the car has driven the short distance from pits.
Right, just stop it there.
To start line. is nothing left to do but accelerate.
That's a 10.78 that, so that's going the wrong way now.
Even with all the tyre and track preparations, the car produces so much power, its wheels still spin rather than grip. No matter what they try, no matter how much sweeping, no matter which lane, no matter how many software tweaks, no matter how many burnouts, they can't extract any more speed from the Beetle.
So you got a 10.9 there, so whether or not you think to come and give it a bit more beans on the start line, or you think that's about as good as it's going to get?
There's always room for another, isn't there? Come on, let's have another go.
Go on then, let's go one more time.
The stiffening headwind may be good for clean energy production, but it's not good for a record attempt. Bad wind stops play.
So we're back to 11.1 again now, so I think we'll call it a day. 10.6 this morning was the best run, so well done, mate. We'll call it a day at 10.6.
Yeah, well done, mate. You've created some piece of kit, mate. Yeah, hey, we didn't do what we set out to, boy, but we've had a lot of learning along the way. So, yeah, but I'm well impressed, mate. Good work.
I dread to think what the R&D budget difference is between, like, you know, Elon Musk and little Moggy in Wales. Thousands versus tens of millions. And not that far away, you know.
What's impressed me about electric vehicles is dead easy to go fast. But not proper fast, but fast. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But they're dead easy. Should you buy an electric car tomorrow? Yes and no. Yes and no. Well, if you're never going any further than, for example, 50 miles from your house, then yes, an electric car is the way to go, right? But if you go out once a week and do 100 mile, 200 mile, 300 mile, no, an electric car isn't, because we haven't got the gubbins to keep you on the road sorted yet. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, but it's not there yet. I think we're just seeing a massive ramp up in development, right? I reckon give that another year, maybe 2 years, then that's the time to buy. Get stuck in. 2 years, electric cars will be the way.